Jiramadhoha Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Vinodanari Yashodanandana Vrindavanandana Yashodanandana Vrindavanandana Yamuna Tira Vrajari Yamuna Tira Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Veere Asya Prayasya Padaleshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevayam Bhagavati Tamashkoti Bhakti Bhavati Naishiki. Hare Krishna. So today's title is Service to the Vaishnavas. Service to the Vaishnavas, okay. Rudram cha svena bhagena hi upadhavat samahitaha karmano davasanena somapaniteranapi Rudram cha svena bhagena hi upadhavat samahitaha karmano davasanena somapaniteranapi Rudram, Lord Shiva, Cha, and Svena, with his own, Bhagena, share, he, since, Upadhavat, he worshipped, Samahitaha, with concentrated mind, Karmana, by the performance, Udavasanena, by the act of finishing, Somapan, demigods, Itaran, others, Api, even, Udavasya, after finishing, Saha, along with, Ritvigihi, with the priest, Sashnau, bathe, Avabhritam, Tavabhritavat, Tataha, then. With all respect, Daksha worshipped Lord Shiva with his share or remnant of the yajna. After finishing the ritualistic sacrificial activities, he satisfied all other demigods and other people assembled there. Then after finishing all these duties with the priest, he took a bath and was fully satisfied. With all respect, Daksha worshipped Lord Shiva with his share of the remnant of the yajna. After finishing the ritualistic sacrificial activities, he satisfied all the other demigods and other people assembled there. Then after finishing all these duties with the priest, he took a bath and he was fully satisfied.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Chalo, start.
Purport. Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Rudra, Shiva, was properly worshipped with his share of the remnants of the yajna. Yajna is Vishnu, and whatever prasada is offered to Vishnu is offered to everyone, even to Lord Shiva. Sridhara Swami also comments in this connection, Svena Bhagena, the remnants of the yajna, are offered to all the demigods and others. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, we finished this chapter.
Yes,
Now
sir.
it's concluding. I'll just read the translation. You read the purport. Thus, worshipping the Supreme Lord Vishnu by the ritual performance of sacrifice, Daksha was completely situated in the religious path. Moreover, all the demigods assembled in the sacrifice blessed him that he might increase his piety, and then they left.
Purport. Although Daksha was considerably advanced in religious principles, he awaited the blessings of the demigods. Thus, the great sacrifice conducted by Daksha ended in harmony and peace.
Maitreya said, I heard that after giving up the body she had received from Daksha, Dakshayani, his daughter, took her birth in the kingdom of the Himalayas. She was born as the daughter of Mena, and I heard this from authoritative sources.
Purport. Meena is also known as Menaka and is the wife of the king of the Himalayas.
Ambika, the goddess Durga, was known as Dakshayani Sati, again accepted Lord Shiva as her husband, just as different energies of Supreme Personality Godhead act during the course of a new creation.
Purport. According to a verse of the Vedic mantras, Parasya Shakthe Vividhaiva Shruyate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has different varieties of energies. Shakti is feminine and the Lord is Purusha, masculine. It is the duty of the female to serve under the Supreme Purusha. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, all living entities are marginal energies of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is the duty of all living entities to serve the Supreme Person. Durga is a representation in the material world of both the marginal and external energies, and Lord Shiva is the representation of the Supreme Person. The connection of Lord Shiva and Ambika or Durga is eternal. Sati could not accept any husband but Lord Shiva. How Lord Shiva remarried Durga as Himavati, the daughter of the Himalayas, and how Kartikeya was born is a great story in itself.
Maitreya Samadhi, whether I heard this story of the Daksha Yagna, which is devastated by Lord Shiva, from Uddhava, great devotee and disciple of Brihaspati. The great sage Maitreya concluded, if one hears and again narrates with faith and devotion the story of Daksha Yagna, as it was conducted by Supreme Personality Godhead Vishnu, then certainly one is cleared of all the contamination of material existence, O son of Kuru. Mataji, purport.
Purport. Thus, in the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the 4th canto, 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Idam Pavitram Param Isha Chestitam Yashasam Ayushyam Aghogamarsanam Yo Nityada Karnya Naro Anukirtaye Dhunoti agam kaurava bhakti bhavataha. The great sage Maitreya concluded, if one hears and again narrates with faith and devotion the story of Dakshayagna as it was conducted of Supreme Personality Godhead Vishnu, then certainly one is cleared of all contamination of material existence, O son of Kuru. So, these are various chapters which have happened in this Leela. If you count, I think around 6 chapters were focused on this Daksha. And if you look at Daksha, we cannot say not a devotee, because as a Devata, Vishnu Bhakta Bhavadeva, they have some devotion to the Lord. And we are led to the slight aberration in his behavior, wherein he became, instead of, what is the mark of a devotee? Devotee means he is thinking how to satisfy Krishna, how to satisfy Guru. That's a mark of a devotee. He became self-conscious, is more focused on that, how I am satisfied. Okay? So kindly you also note down, today we will see what are the conclusions from this Leela. What did you learn? What lesson? Okay, don't worry about Daksha, he is a Devata in the post of Prajapati. Finally Krishna will take care of his devotees, we are not worried. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Certainly Krishna protects his devotee. Kaunteya pratijani name bhakta pranashati. Krishna declares in Gita, my devotee will not perish. But still, there's a lesson here for us. Therefore, this instance is taken like the instance of Bharat Maharaj, instance of Ajamila. So we learn how we can keep ourselves focused on the path of pure devotion and various kind of aberrations. Like we had the contamination of Ajamila or towards, vidharma, to sinful activities. Then we had the contamination of the Bharat Maharaj, thinking Upadharma is as good as Parodharma. Now here we have contamination of Daksha, who is too much about, instead of focusing on the pleasure of Vishnu, he was thinking of his own pleasure and ended up in a mess wherein he had stereotype ideas about spiritual life, classical stereotype ideas. Many Brahmanas, so-called Brahmanas have, this is what is spiritual life, this is what is spiritual life. When Srila Prabhupada was also preaching around the world, he had this situation. In India, so-called Brahmanas were saying Prabhupada is destroying Hindu Dharma. Said that. When the flight was coming to India, Prabhupada said, I have so many enemies in this country also. They say, I am destroying Hindu Dharma. Even now people say like that. Because it is totally spiritual movement, it is impossible for materialistic so-called Brahmanas to even understand ABCD of this movement. They can't understand. They don't have the adhikara to understand. You need capacity. Just like you understand some concept on mathematics, we feel, I don't have adhikara. Very difficult it was. When we read, we just gave namaskar and left it. And sometimes academic studies also find something very difficult. So similarly, the spiritual concepts of pure devotion, it's not easy. Even we are not getting entry into much higher levels of spiritual relishment. Okay? So we are at some level. So similarly, not everybody can able to appreciate the activities of the Krishna consciousness. And when looking at Daksha, don't you think we are also like Daksha to some extent? We are also, so we can look at Ajamila pastime or Chota Haridas Thakur pastime. We can meditate on how we should be Ajamila to gross illicit sex, and Chota Haridas Thakur is subtle. And we had to be free from that. What is the lesson? Then we had the example of Bharat Maharaj. We learn to be, understand the pure devotion service much beyond help some people, be kind to some people. Daya is much beyond Krishna consciousness. Many people don't understand that. But here, so something very interesting, which we quite obvious thing with there in the Daksha thing, that we should disrespect to the Vaishnavas and offensiveness to the Vaishnavas. And today we can take a very important lesson from that. Very interesting. If you look at the few lines only of the purport, that Daksha forgot, we have to serve the Vaishnavas. Many times when we get initiated, we get only one focus. Yeah, here is my Guru, here is Krishna, this is Kanishthadikari. And serving doesn't mean like ritualistic. Now, my own example, there are unlimited faults, so I can narrate one of them. I just joined the temple and not initiated at that time, maybe initiated. And there's some devotees are having prasadam, so they called me, can come here? I said, yes. So can you serve? I know when you're serving prasadam, what happens? Little rice, little more sabji, little more dal, okay, little more rice, Little more subject, it happens, So I was really getting irritated. Really. It is 10 minutes I'm standing there. First thing, standing is very boring. And little more rice, and they are talking, little more. Then I kept the spoon on the bucket. I said, you can get up and eat. And I walked away. So why do we behave like that? The very reason we behave like that, even though we have no other urgent service, that we really do not have desire in the heart to please the Vaishnava. He is so fortunate. He has got the taste of chanting the Lord's holy name. He is so fortunate. He has given up all his, material desires and pursuits and material ambitions. He just wants to now serve Krishna. This is not easy. Not easy. He has got that fortune. And if I please him, Krishna will be pleased. Now, when you're dealing with devotees also, devotees are at three levels. Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. Kanishta is he has received the holy name, maybe even initiation, but he has not understood that we have to serve the Vaishnava. At a Madhyamadikari level, actually, that is said, Ishvara tadadhineshu balisheshu disheshu cha prema maitri kripa upeksha ya karoti sa Madhyama. So Madhyamadikari, he has a qualification that he loves the Lord, prema, but he does maitri to the Vaishnavas. Kanishtadikari, I don't say love, I don't know, but he has no maitri to the Vaishnavas and no kripa to Baleshu, no kripa of preaching Krishna conscious to innocent people. He doesn't understand the importance of preaching, and Kanishtadikari generally cannot preach. But preaching is at the level of Madhyama. So the very desire now I teach Krishna conscious starts from Madhyama. So how it is possible? So generally we deal with the devotees. Say 3 devotees are sitting having prasadam. One is Kanishta, one is Madhyama, one is Uttama. We serve all. He's a Vaishnava. True, we don't take instructions from Kanishta. We don't feel like. So suppose somebody is a devotee, doesn't know, his behavior is not proper of the devotee. He is, so we don't take instructions from him. He is Rasik, Tamsik. Okay, we don't take instruction, but we still serve a Vaishnava. He has faith in the Lord, firm faith in the Supreme Lord, firm faith in Guru. I've seen so many devotees with these 2 qualities, but they miss the 3rd quality, no desire to serve the Vaishnavas. Now you see that the Daksha at the end, after serving Vishnu, served the Devatas, who are all Vaishnavas. And he got the clear picture now, after being enlightened, and that was his fundamental mistake. He just ignored Lord Shiva. He's a Vaishnava. Okay, in his own analysis, that Lord Shiva he thought is like Kanishta, because he is not dressing properly. He had those all karmakandi, brahminical rules. Just I told you the joke, we are doing big Sankirtan in Mangalore near a temple, and he got tall from a karmakandi Brahmin. Why they are wearing chappal? Why they are wearing chappal? And in fact, I met that person later, and I explained to him, see, the legs are cut. You walk on the road barefoot today, it's dangerous. There will be pieces of glass. We cannot take a risk. Okay, sometimes we do take that risk when you are in Vrindavan and Dhams, we don't wear chappal. That's okay. And Dham generally, everybody does that. But here, when everybody used to walk with shoes and slippers, on that road you walk with, that's not, you see nowhere proper saying that instruction in this. So you all go to do Sankirtana and you should not wear chappal. It doesn't say. According to the situation. True, actually what happens when devotees start dancing, they remove the chappal in one corner. Even remember once we had gone to Dharmasala and we were having a big Sankirtan long time ago. And as there was a depot or something there and we had got an opportunity to put a bus somewhere, we were distributing books. Then there were some devotees started Sankirtan, the whole crowd started dancing. And I remember first a mountain of chappals was there in one corner because you cannot dance with chappals, they have to remove it. So that's reality. But as far as possible, we have to be practical. But the Karmakandi, the outlook of Daksha, Lord Shiva was a Kanishta. He doesn't take bath regularly, he put some snakes around his body, some tamasic habits. Whatever it is, he's a Vaishnava. the Vaishnava. You cannot have negative attitude towards the Vaishnava. You cannot have. You should always. So he will not be able to find out. Nobody likes to be judged as a Kanishta. Now, who is telling you to announce on his face? No, you don't have to do. But then you will be associating very closely with whom you consider somebody who can instruct you. There you offer service. Madhyama you serve. And Uttama, who is absorbed in service to Krishna, you take Diksha from, you take him as a guru, you surrender yourself to him. So Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, how nicely it is organized. But now you are walking. There was one devotee was telling that he was in Mayapur, and then suddenly some devotees saw him. And then he said he was standing behind a table, and he was quite elderly. So he said it was difficult for him to find out something. So in the dress of a sannyasi and a brahmachari, there is a slight difference. And if you're wearing a chadar over, you cannot find out. That one thing is that he will be wearing one chadar tied in one way, and the dhoti he will be wearing in another way. देखिए सन्यासी धोती थोड़ा अलग तरह से पहनते हैं. And he was actually trying to see the dhoti. So I understood. He said, I told him, do not worry, I am not sannyasi. And he walked away. He said, then I told him, he asked him, why you are searching for sannyasi? No, if you are sannyasi, I have to pay obeisance. So can we have that kind of outlook? You judge everybody. He's a Kanishta, so I don't have to pay obeisance. He's a Madhya. You cannot do like that. Devotee means we respect. Okay? Somebody has taken shelter of a guru but still has attachment and obnoxious habits. Is a Kanishta. We give him respect mentally, okay? And we are not going to surrender to him because it's not inspiring. His behavior, his weaknesses doesn't make him very inspiring. But Madhyama means it's inspiring and we take association. But Kanishta cannot make out. Kanishta cannot make out that you. So, see, devotee means it doesn't make anybody his enemy. Ajata Shatravaha Shanta. So devotees in behavior is perfect. Like Prahlad Maharaj used to see his father, perfect. To pay obeisance to his father, even though his father was a demon. His behavior you cannot find. People are like Daksha. Slight disrespect. They start. Because in their focus, there is no Krishna. It ends at them. They see there is a big difference. Devata means yatha taror moola nishechanena te prati sanskata bhujo upashaka prana upahara chayate indriyanam tataiva sarv arhanam achyuteja. The behavior of a Vaishnava is that if Krishna is served, he becomes happy. He doesn't bother whether he is served. He doesn't bother. He is very happy his Lord has been served. Just like Radharani feels, oh my God, such a great devotee. He wants to serve Krishna. I am not even a devotee. But we do not find that level of transparency in us. For us, if we are not served, if we are not honored, if we are not noticed, what happened to Daksha? So this aberration, please notice, of Daksha, that he was not honored and worshipped, even though Lord Shiva was in meditation on Krishna, he became angry. Parikshit Maharaj also felt himself guilty of that offense when he was coming back from after giving the dead snake to the neck of the Shamika Rishi. Parikshit Maharaj was feeling, I've done a great offense. In the beginning, he felt that he's just feigning. Feigning means he's just faking meditation to ignore him. But later he felt he's not faking, he was actually meditating. And as a Vaishnava, he felt, oh my God, a great offense has happened. Correct? Suppose somebody closing his eyes is sitting and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So what do you feel? Just like in a bus, somebody is sitting, sometimes ladies climb the bus. And as an etiquette, we should get up. We don't want to get up. Those olden days, what used to do? To close our eyes. We didn't even see. I didn't see. So Parikshit Maharaj felt that he's faking meditation, like faking a sleep. So to avoid, giving him a glass of water, Parikshit Maharaj felt like that. Okay? But later when he's coming back, he realized, oh, that's Samika Rishi. He must be worshipping the Lord in the mind. He must be on samadhi on the mind, which was actually true. Oh my God. Why is he feeling bad? Because he is not on the platform of Daksha, who's focused on himself. He's a Vaishnava, focused on the Lord. A slight aberration. He said, this is wrong. I should not have done that. Why did I get angry? And he says, my Lord, please punish me. You punish me sufficiently, my Lord, so that I do not do such a mistake again. But see, our mistake is we are focused on ourselves. When you focus on the Lord, then something new behavior starts. There was once, the first time, Guru Maharaj asked me any question. He said, I have a question. That sometimes the devotees do not do that service, and the service comes on me, I get really irritated. Then he was talking about a wonderful devotee whose picture he put on the Ratha card. Who knows that name? Put on the chat. Jayananda, yes, Jayananda. And he said that Jayananda was such a wonderful devotee amongst us. So wonderful. This is the first service he did, assisting Jayananda on the Ratha, constructing the Ratha. He was telling that not only he used to do his service, he used to do all the devotee service. And after that, he used to still run to the kitchen, make nice sweets for all of us, and make us all happy with the wonderful sweets. The devotee is not in the sense that he's servant of the servant. We have the very famous incident of the Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. The Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada once was, somebody came to meet Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. And he said that, the devotee, Prabhupada, his name, he's also addressed as Prabhupada. Prabhupada, somebody has to come to meet you. So Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada said, who is he? He said, he's a Vaishnava. He's a servant of Vishnu. He's a servant of Vishnu. So Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada said, we are not servants of Vishnu. We are servants of the Vaishnavas. Even Srila Prabhupada was once asked this question by somebody, and that Prabhupada, are you God? Prabhupada said, no, I'm a servant of God. Then Prabhupada said, no, I'm trying to become servant of God. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur, Dasa Dasa Anudasa. Actually, somehow we sometimes start feeling that I've got some kind of God realization, some anubhava of worship to the Lord. But actually, it's not true. Our faith in Krishna at this moment rests on the Vaishnavas. We meet some wonderful devotee, we see his behavior is very wonderful, and we take his statements as true because of seeing his wonderful behavior. He must be telling character. Right? So it's very important that our behavior is perfect. If people find, even the people are looking at us from materialistic angles, what they're looking at materialistic angles. And if they find any aberration in the behavior, they will not accept our words to be true. Correct? Because people where does Krishna consciousness starts? Krishna consciousness starts when we respectfully hear some words of Vaishnavas. True? Krishna is not going to speak to anybody directly. Krishna doesn't speak to nonsense, and today we are nonsense. Is Vaishnavas speak to us because they are more merciful than Krishna. By the arrangement of Krishna, tadvidhi pranipatena. You have to pranipata. The first symptom of pranipata is to submissively, respectfully hear a Vaishnava. Now all of us want to spread Krishna consciousness, so our behavior should be perfect. Perfect. No mistake. Nobody can find a mistake in a behavior. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, his father comes, he pays obeisance. He's a demon. He's a demon. Every day trying to kill him. No, behavior is perfect. The behavior of a Vaishnava, nobody can find a fault. There is no fault which you can find on him on any angle. Because people do not like the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, they want to reject it, so they want to find some fault on us. And they cannot find a fault. Perfect behavior. So that's and then it's amazing for a person to know what do I do? Behavior is totally perfect. Where do I find fault? You cannot find a fault. So we have to evolve to that. Then what happens? People become respectful. They are still materialistic, but they become respectful seeing the perfect behavior. And then they submissively asked an inquiry. I still remember when nothing but small from memory, that when my roommates vomited on my bed because they were drunk, when I was working in Infosys near Kodu Temple. So I didn't say anything. I felt bad, slept somewhere. And in the morning, as usual, was sitting and chanting. The friends used to think I'm mad. Okay, fine. So they came to me to talk to me. One of them said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm chanting Hare Krishna." "What is that?" Then that preaching starts. You cannot preach unless somebody approaches you submissively. You cannot preach. Correct? You cannot forcefully push down Krishna consciousness anybody's throat. In fact, if I remember the difference between the preaching I used to do in the beginning and I do today, there is one difference. What? I don't get into any argument with anybody. Why? I don't speak when there is argument. I become silent. Because I know there is no use of shouting and counter-shouting. Nobody becomes devotee by arguments and shouting today. Anna? We preach. We tell some basic level of Krishna. Person is submissive. We tell little more. We see, can he digest that? We tell little more. And then we see he's becoming, cannot able to understand. We stop. So we should know when to stop, when to speak, when not to speak. We don't get into any argument. Because why? The devotee's behavior is perfect. He doesn't shout. Because he knows if he speaks something more, just like sometimes it happens, I say somebody, a stranger, I talk about Rasalila, then what happens? The stranger comments on it. Then I get angry. Then I shout at him. Now who was responsible? I'm responsible. Right? I create a situation. I know he will speak that. We should know by common sense how the person will behave in a particular situation. We should have guessed it. The person will comment. And then I get angry and then I shout at him. Why talk about that area that he cannot handle? We're not just like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In public only did Harinam. That's it. But some people are there who get irritated. Sometimes they're surrounded by relatives or friends who get irritated when you chant. Don't chant in their presence. Don't chant. Whatever reason, they get agitated. Okay? Leave it. Don't chant. We do a behavior in a way, people don't get agitated unnecessarily. Leave it. Don't do that. So then what happens is that we are able to relate to people. Okay? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very careful. In public only did Harinam. And the next level, what did he do? Next level he did. And he told Bhagavad Gita. The next level Bhagavatam. And the final level, talking about intense separation of Krishna from the gopis, he talked only to Ramananda Raya, not to everybody. Ramananda Raya and Sarup Damodar, that's it. Nobody else had access to that discussion. So therefore, same way, we should be very careful what we discuss to whom. Okay? We should be very careful. Why is it that everybody is feeling like that? Audio is not clear. It's fine? Audio is fine? Yeah. Please, Venugopal, just check. Audio is clear to others. So meditating on the Daksha's fault, he thought, he is a devotee. And because he had some expertise, we may have some expertise in our service. As a service to the Lord, he's producing children. But he forgot that apart from our service, so we may be doing some service, we should never take credit for that. What is it? Nimitara matarena bhava savasa, just like an instrument. Suppose I develop an attitude of doership that I did that service, and somebody wants to contribute huge amount to the temple, but Krishna will not inspire him more because he knows it is dangerous. If it happened through this devotee, Hannah, he's getting proud, so Krishna is worried, I will lose him. Hannah? Krishna is very worried for his devotee. Not only the service, he's worried about you also. He's not only worried about millions of people who will come to temple, but he's worried about you also, who will take the credit and will become crazy. So Krishna said, okay, he has to think so much. When Shishi Radha Govinda ki, so many devotees who are doing book distribution, they feel that how Krishna is operating every moment. They sell 10 Gitas and they say, I start feeling I'm a great preacher, I'm become proud. Nothing happens next day. Nobody buys a single book for a few days. Then Krishna is working so dynamically in our life, so dynamically is active. Just like in Mahabharata, we see that Krishna was personally acting. Actually, for all of us, Krishna is riding our chariot of life, taking us to the spiritual world. And very devotees feel sometimes Krishna looks like neglecting me, not neglecting. Is very, very involved in every devotee's life. Very, very actively involved. Therefore, tatya anukampama susakshamana munjana atmakritam vipakam. Devotee is very happy all the time. Very peaceful and very happy. Prabhupada went through so much difficulty. So much difficulty. And devotee, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, I have been cursed to death. Now what can I do? Can I shout at that boy? No, I cannot do. He's a Brahmana. I cannot do. So I cannot shout at some people. It's not our culture. And why did Krishna create the situation? Like Parikshit Maharaj, did he think that no negative? He thought positively. Now how do I utilize the situation which is in front of me? Okay, I'll just hear Bhagavatam with all love. Beautiful, no? And he did that. And he achieved perfection in 7 days' time. So we should always, first thing we should know, that all the situation in complete control of Krishna. And if we are seeing the situation is wrong or bad, my perspective is wrong, my angle is wrong. Actually, in that situation, my great spiritual advancement is hidden. In that situation, my great spiritual advancement is hidden because Krishna does not forget a devotee. Without Krishna's sanction, no situation manifests. Like Parikshit Maharaj was fully conscious because of Krishna's intervention. This situation has now manifested in front of me. Now I'll do perfect of my behavior, of my etiquettes, I'll do. Then within that situation, great spiritual advancement is hidden for me. It's peaceful, very, very peaceful. Ajata Shatravaha, Shanta, very peaceful. And you see that he achieved spiritual perfection. Okay? So a devotee in that way, you see that Daksha doesn't know. Okay, he doesn't know the etiquettes of a Vaishnava. He just doesn't know. When a Parama Vaishnava, Lord Shiva is entering, he doesn't know actually that he has to say obeisance system. He doesn't know. As a Kanishtadhikari, one of the mistakes of Kanishtadhikari is that he cannot even evaluate who is advanced, who is not advanced. I told you that example many times. The day I joined, one boy came and he patted my back. And we are two of us, we are close friends from college, we had joined on the same day. And he was patting his back also. So then I felt very nice, so I told my friend that he looks to be a very advanced devotee. So he was more experienced. He said, just because he patted your back, that doesn't mean anything much. Okay, so at Kanishta, we really do not know to evaluate. Now another lesson, if you're Kanishta like Daksha, it's difficult to evaluate who's an advanced, who's not advanced. Daksha was making such an aberration, he's thinking that Lord Shiva is not advanced. But he is, the Shastra say, Vaishnavanam Yatashambho is the topmost Vaishnava. So we may not be evaluated because Vaishnava Kriya Mudra cannot be evaluated. We should go by the higher evaluation. Well, why is Lord Brahma always giving so much respect to Lord Shiva? He should look at that. Look at that. Why is the Shastra glorifying Lord Shiva in such high words? Why didn't he look at that? He doesn't know that. Perhaps he may even know that. But he thought his own analysis is perfect. So we should not so much bother about our own analysis, because what we can see from our analysis is not inside. And rather, with our own judgments and analysis, we only make unnecessarily offenses like Daksha. And what happens then when the offenses accumulate too much? It's not good, correct? So we should be therefore develop an opportunity for serving the Vaishnavas, not analyzing them, not judging them. That is not our work. That is actually finding fault with somebody, correcting him, guiding him, was not Daksha's work. Even if Daksha he felt that there are some mistakes and etiquettes of Lord Shiva and he is too neophyte, was it his business to correct him? When Chitriketu commented on Lord Shiva, when he was taking a class and with his Parvati on his lap, at that time, Parvati told him, "My dear Chitriketu, who has given you this service? Who has given you this service to judge Lord Shiva?" So our judgment, our analysis of somebody, true, it's a very difficult thing to talk. One side we are saying, we are identifying who is a Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, and so there is discrimination and there is fault finding, are two different things which are very difficult to do it separately. We do discriminate because we want association, but fault finding is something else. We entertain ourselves as somebody not having the particular quality. That becomes a fault finding. Like somebody is selling fruits and you say, "Do you have mangoes?" He doesn't have mangoes. You go to somebody who has mangoes. So I'm looking for good association and I hear somebody, I meet somebody, but I don't feel inspired. I go to somebody where I feel inspired. Fine. But I don't disrespect him. Hey, I don't want to talk to you, but I feel you're not advanced enough. We don't behave like that. That's not the etiquettes of a Vaishnava. So that becomes fault finding. Fault finding means it's a total different perspective. The focus is not in your spiritual advancement. Focus is like a materialistic person. What he's always doing is weighing another person. Correct? When you meet somebody, what do you weigh? You weigh him. Is he equal in richness and opulence and status in society equal to me? If he is, then I talk. Otherwise, I don't talk. I don't waste my time with such people. As a Vaishnava, we don't behave like that. I'm looking for association. Just like there was one devotee who came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, said, "I want to hear about Krishna." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Go to Ramananda Rai." And he heard him, and he was in ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. He was in ecstasy. Correct? After hearing, he said, Ramananda Rai, when he was speaking, it was as if the ocean of love of Godhead is shaking. He was enjoying, relishing. So that is our objective, not that, talk. When I went to him, he doesn't look so inspiring, Then what are you doing? You're trying to judge yourself and him and measure, I'm greater advanced. No. So there's a very hairline difference between fault finding and discrimination, and that disappears. And if your sincerity is there, actually to advance in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so some lessons from this Leela. I got on chat some hundreds. I don't know, some people have been meditating on. Okay, fine. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. So what is the main lesson? Not only you should serve Krishna, you should also serve Vaishnavas with Daksha for God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you. Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sadhu
Pranam.
Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.